What's up, guys? It's your boy Adrian. Welcome back to another video, and this is Always Talk Money. I like to talk money as it relates to everyday life, and today we're going to talk about mistakes you should avoid, financial mistakes you should avoid in your 40s. This is a continuation of a series I did where I did financial mistakes that you should avoid in your 20s, and I also did your 30s. So if you haven't watched that, after you watch this video, go ahead and check out those videos as well. And you might say, well, Adrian, I'm not this age or I'm not this age. Well, eventually we all endeavor to be old. And so we're each going to be 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, hopefully, and beyond, right? I want that for all of us. So without further ado, we're going to get into this video. So if you like what you see, just please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, please and thank you. And let's just get into the video. Now, one of the first financial mistakes that people tend to make in their 40s is that your kids are about to go to college, right? You're 18, 19 because you had your kids in your mid-20s to, late 20s, right? Most people. So the mistake that people tend to make around this time is letting your kid go to an expensive college. Don't do that. That's a financial mistake. And you might think that's not a financial mistake on you, because the thing is, there are parent plus loans where both the student and the parent is on the loan. But also, if it's just in your kid's name, what tends to happen is if your kid is financially strapped with student loan debt, and we're in the midst of a very big student loan debt crisis right now, and what that's causing is for young people to not be able to go out on their own to build families, buy homes, even like rent apartments, right? Because they're so strapped with this student loan debt. And that comes back on you as a parent, because where they're going to go, they're going to come back in your house. So when you should be thinking about being empty nesters in your 40s, you have to be taking care of your kids. And that's a drain on your resources. So that's why it's a financial mistake for you. You have to think ahead. Don't make financial decisions in a vacuum. You might think, oh, this is a great school for my kid. They'll get this great education. But if they're 100K plus in debt, what good does that do? They might get a great job, but then when they have to pay rent, they have to pay car note, they have to pay medical insurance, they have to pay for just regular life expenses. And on top of that, they have crippling student loan debt. That's no good for you. You're gonna have to help out in one way or the other, even if they come home, even if you have to help them pay rent, even if you have to help them pay bills. That's a financial mistake. That's also on you. So don't let your kid go to an expensive college. That's a big mistake. Be the parent, be prudent. I know some kids want to be like, Mom, Dad, I want to move far away from home. I want to have my own person and be independent. Well, they can be independent when they are independent. And letting an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid choose to be six figures in debt is not a good thing. So don't do that to your kids. Another financial mistake people tend to make in their 40s is getting renovations on their homes that don't increase the value of said home, right? So your kids are off to college and you and your spouse are in there just bored. And you think of a project to come up with and do. And that usually comes in the form of renovations to the house, especially when you see a next door neighbor keeping up with the Joneses. That's where that comes from. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't make unnecessary renovations on your home. That's just going to put you further in debt, and that's going to keep you farther away from your financial goals, especially in your 40s. You're halfway to retirement, so don't make a financial mistake like that. Don't try to put this island oasis in your backyard and make your home extra personalized. One thing you should know about real estate is that personalized homes are very hard to sell. Not only that, they're extremely expensive. So don't make that mistake. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. If you want to do renovations on your home, do it closer to the time where you know you're about to sell, and do it in a way that improves the value of your home. Maybe finish the basement, maybe optimize the kitchen a little bit. Little things here and there, but don't do any big projects, especially if you don't have any money. You're putting this on credit cards, because one thing we all know, that contractors are never reliable, right? You start a job and then you might have to hire a different contractor, or they don't do a good job and you have to find someone else to finish up the job. It can be a headache. Don't make your home into a construction site, and don't make that put you into debt and bring you farther away from your financial goals. So don't make renovations in your 40s on your home that does not improve the value of your home. Another financial mistake that people tend to make in their 40s is they take out money from their 401k or retirement accounts, because around your 40s is when that retirement account is starting to look a little bit juicy, right? In your 20s, in your 30s, you have a few bucks in there, but it's not nothing to write home about. In your 40s, it's starting to look a little bit more enticing. And you might, speaking of renovations, you might want to be like, honey, can we take out a little 20K here and there, improve this on that on the house? If it's not an emergency, leave that money alone. That money is for the older version of you that doesn't want to work anymore. I see so many people in their 40s taking out money from their retirement accounts and that just putting you behind the eight ball. That's not going to help you. Okay. So don't make a financial mistake like that. Not only that, it incurs a lot of penalties. When you have early withdrawals and then you have to pay it back, you have to pay it back with interest and so on and so forth. Don't do that. Taking out money from your 401k is always a bad idea. Let it be a life or death situation. Hopefully not a life or death, but it has to be a real dire emergency. It can't be emotional. It can't be spur of the moment. It can't be because you want to do something discretionary with your spending. Okay, so do not take out money out of your retirement accounts, especially, don't take out money against your home. Don't do any HELOCs. Don't take out any type of loans, period. That's just a bad idea overall. In your 40s, you should be concentrating on being debt free. Okay? Debt free is the ultimate goal. Yeah, in your 20s and your 30s, you carry some debt, you don't make enough money. In your 40s, you should be at peak income range. That's when you're going to see the most money coming into your bank account. And that's when you should optimize it and don't mess it up. Guys, if this video is giving you value so far, just please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Please and thank you. I would really appreciate it. I want to grow this channel. Thank you. Now, the next financial mistake people tend to make in their 40s is not maxing out their retirement accounts. In the last point, I said, don't touch your retirement, don't dip into it, don't do any of that, try to be debt free. But the other side of that is not maxing out. Now is not the time for you to just be putting the bare minimum in there. Now is not the time for you to just be focusing on just doing the employee match. Now is the time for you to be maxing all of that stuff out. As I said, you're halfway to the point of retirement, and then you also have the start of your highest earning potential in your 40s. So use that to max out your retirement accounts. Compound interest is going to work wonders for you around this time, especially if you've been saving and investing all this time, even just a little bit. But if you've been consistent from your 30s into your 40s, you have 10 years of compound interest working for you. And now your income is just going way up, right? So max out those retirement accounts. You want to retire comfortably. You want to be on the country club. You want to be able to jet set around the world. You just want to have a nice life where you don't have to worry about your children, your grandchildren. You don't even have to worry about yourself. You don't want to be working into retirement if you don't want to, because a lot of people I know, they're workaholics and they have to keep going. Yes, make working into your retirement your choice, but it shouldn't be because you need the money. Now is the time to buckle down, max out your retirement accounts in your 40s. Now, finally, a little mistake that I see people tend to make financially in their 40s is not increasing the level of their emergency fund, right? Because in your 20s and your 30s, a $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 emergency fund might cut it. When you're in your 40s, you have so much more expenses. You have houses, you have cars, you have kids, and kids that are very expensive. College age kids, you never know when your kid might call you from college and be like, I need a new MacBook. I need some new books. I need this. I need that. Your emergency fund has to be congruent with your lifestyle at that point. And 40s, you have your highest income range, but also it means that you have the highest level of liability in terms of your day-to-day expenses and your discretionary spending. In your 40s, a $1,500, $5,000 emergency fund is just not going to cut it anymore. And if you don't have an adequate emergency fund that is congruent with your lifestyle, what's going to happen is it's going to cause you to dip into those retirement funds that I mentioned earlier. So don't do that. As you grow older, your life is going to get more expensive, as I said. and so should your emergency fund, so should your retirement contributions, and so you should plan accordingly. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Now guys, this is the end of the video. As I said, check out the rest of the age groups. I have 20s, 30s, and now this is the 40s. I'm also going to drop the 50s as well. So just look out for that and check that out. If you like the video again, please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. Look out for your financial future. Peace.